Black money doublespeak is our top focus story. The Narendra Modi government today told the Supreme Court it cannot make names of overseas account holders public in order to respect a bilateral treaty signed by the Congress government in 1995. The stand flies in the face of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's sharp attacks on the Congress party in the run-up to the general elections. Then, candidate Narendra Modi and the BJP had claimed that the UPA government was actually shielding the corrupt and not naming them in public. Was then that mere election rhetoric by the Narendra Modi establishment, by the BJP, which has now fallen flat once the party came to power?
सुप्रीम कोर्ट को नाम देने में 3 साल लगा दिए। परसों जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने डंडा मारा तब काले धन बेईमान लोगों के 18 लोगों के नाम उन्होंने सुप्रीम कोर्ट को दिए। किसको बचा रहे थे माँ बेटे? ये चोर लुटेरों को क्यों बचा रहे थे?
Modi's strident anti-graft stand in the run-up to the polls. But barely months into power, those words are back to haunt his government. The centre has told the Supreme Court it cannot name offshore account holders, citing the same double taxation treaty alibi used by the UPA.
If confidentiality is not to be maintained at all, then execution of treaties will become impossible. And most important, the object of this case, that is to get black money by getting information from different countries, that object will be completely defeated.
The NDA's U-turn on black money sparked angry responses from anti-graft crusaders.
Ram Jethmalani putting the Modi government on the back foot by making sensational allegations in the Supreme Court, accusing the current government of continuing with the UPA government's moves of protecting the black money accused.
But it is the Congress which is claiming vindication.
Well, it shows their doublespeak, double standards. When in opposition, they have one yardstick to mislead and confuse the people. When in government, they have a different yardstick.
While the BJP has been made to eat its words, the black money issue has been a cherished weapon for it when out of power.
See, the most important issue as far as black money is concerned is the intention. And is there any iota of doubt as far as the intention of this government is concerned? We had formed the SIT in the day one itself.
The party now realizing the hard way that poll eve rhetoric may fall flat when it comes to actual governance. With Jaskirat Singh Bawa and Ashar Khan in Delhi, Bureau Report, headlines today.
The Congress party has accused the BJP of doublespeak. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has hit back on all these charges. He says that the government is not reluctant to make the names public. He's taking refuge under the double taxation treaty. Let's listen into the Finance Minister.
Is the present NDA government led by Shri Narendra Modi in any way reluctant to make some names public? Certainly not. We have no difficulty in making the names public, but they can be made public only in accordance with the due process of law. And the due process of law has been constrained by a double taxation avoidance treaty which was entered into between India and Germany when the Congress party was in power on 19th of June 1995. The covenant of that treaty was that these names can only be made public once after investigation there are disclosures made to a court.
And joining me now for the latest on the stories, headlines today, is Ashish Maharshi. He's been tracking his sources in the Ministry of Finance. Also with me is Executive Editor Javed Ansari, tracking developments both at the Congress and the BJP headquarters. are Brijesh Pandey at the BJP headquarters and Ashar Ahmed Khan at the Congress Party headquarters. But Ashish Maharshi, I want to come to you first. Ram Jethmalani says double taxation treaty does not come in the name of making names public, especially of crooks. They cannot hide behind this. Is Ram Jethmalani right or is Arun Jaitley right?
Well, Gaurav, one has to accept the fact that double taxation avoidance agreement and tax information exchange agreement, these are two agreements that have been signed by India with various countries, including tax havens, and there is a confidentiality clause. It very clearly defines that till the case reaches the level of prosecution, they cannot disclose the identity. Now, if you would have heard Arun Jaitley today, he very clearly said that especially in the case of Liechtenstein, where Indians, if you remember, at least name of 24 Indians came out. The names were revealed even before the case reached the level of prosecution. It was only being investigated by the income tax authorities, and it was due to that Germany was very unhappy. Now, even when we spoke to him off the record, Arun Jaitley, he very clearly said that with this, if this continues, Germany will never give us data, because there is a bright chance that tax havens like Liechtenstein might have more accounts, might have more Indians holding stashed Indians holding black money, and the black money might be stashed there. But then, yes, you have to accept the fact that double taxation avoidance agreement and tax information exchange agreement, there is an obligation on part of India, and that has to be, that has to be adhered to.
Stay with me for a moment. Brijesh, it was on the 1st of May that candidate Narendra Modi at that point of time said, माँ बेटे बताएं वो किसको बचा रहे हैं, क्यों वो नाम पब्लिक नहीं हो रहे हैं. Was that just poll rhetoric?
Well, yes. The funny thing was that when we were covering the general election, today when I was talking to the spokespersons of BJP and other senior leaders, it felt that, that the faces were of the BJP, but the sound or the soundbite, if I may say so, were coming out of were literally identical to what Congress was saying before election. The Congress was making the same excuse. The Congress was beholding about or talking about the same confidentiality agreement. And the BJP today was not able to convince the electorate at large when this news broke that BJP is going to follow what Congress had said before the government formation. And the attack was so sharp that the finance minister had to actually come out and give a late night rebuttal or try to salvage the situation. Because one of the members who led the attack was Ram Jethmalani, an ex-BJP member and a known anti-Arun Jaitley face in Delhi. And what the kind of questions he raised, honestly speaking, BJP leaders had no answer. Because, even the formation of SIT, if I may remind you, was because the Supreme Court given deadline was about to expire in next 3 to 4 to max 1 week, and the government was literally had no chance. It was kind of a fait accompli which they had to do. But they tried to salvage some political point, but the BJP definitely came out as somebody who is kind of diluting. Stay with me for a moment. Absolutely, the BJP looking for answers, and BJP spokespersons now saying that look at our intent. The intention is to bring back black money, and as the point Brijesh raised, the first task of this government was to make that special task force on black money. But the question remains, what has that special task force done so far to bring home that black money? And this, Ashar, has given the Congress a big stick to beat the government with.
Absolutely. In fact, the Congress went ahead and said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi should publicly apologize to the then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and also the then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram, categorically stating that whatever the candidate Narendra Modi was saying were promises which were far from the truth, and there was no way those promises could be fulfilled. And whatever the Congress and the Congress-led UPA government was doing in the last 5 years, that is exactly the same thing which this government is doing. India is bound under DTEA, Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, with several countries. Until the time that those things are met, the names cannot be made public.
Okay, so Javed, what's the Congress's strategy? You've been speaking to your sources. The Congress suddenly on the front foot on this story, and they're going out all guns blazing.
Well, obviously, the Congress has now adopted, and I told you so, position. They say when we were saying this in power, while we were in government and we were issuing these statements, the BJP didn't believe it. And now that they've come home, they've come to power, they realized the realities of governance. They realize that there are international treaties and conventions that sovereign governments are bound to honor. and therefore they're saying this. They're saying this, the BJP statement only goes on to vindicate our position. It just goes to show, Gaurav, that when you're in opposition, you can let fly anything. Everything appears to be par for course. Yes. But there's a lesson for all political parties, that when they pronounce a verdict on important issues, they need to consider everything, not just go in for the temptation of scoring brownie points.
A big change from poll rhetoric to once the government is actually in power, once the party is in power. But Ashish, the first task of the Narendra Modi government was to form this special task force on black money. What action has this task force taken so far to bring in the black money, so that the nation knows the government is doing something about it and it wasn't just poll rhetoric?
Well, in fact, investigations are on. There is a number of information that has been, passed on to MB Shah headed SIT. But there is another report which is actually being, which according to our sources from Finance Ministry has been submitted to the Finance Ministry by National Institute of Planning and Financial Management, that is PFM. That they were given the task to submit a report on the amount of black money which will actually also go to the SIT. So certainly, this SIT is working, and it is because of this. This is what Arun Jaitley had said today, that 3 senior officials from the Finance Ministry were sent to Switzerland, and Switzerland, which was actually denying of the HSBC list, which was actually stolen, which had 700 names of Indians, has actually Gaurav, now been accepted by Swiss authorities. Okay. Some have been accepted by Swiss authorities. Some have taken pledge that some have taken some have said that they are NRI, so they are not bound by Indian tax laws, and some are still untraceable. So certainly, Indian authorities are getting some kind of data, they are getting information, and some cases are under investigation.
The fact remains, when will the money come home? Was this just poll rhetoric, or will action actually be taken? Will black money actually come back home?